All right, all right. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Woo. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Aloha, everybody. Your boy LJD Lance's Dance. Welcome, your host, to the Open Heart, Open Mind podcast. All the time. Because that's what it's about, speaking from the heart, and that's where it should always start. You already know. Grow with the flow. I can do this quotes all day because you know what? Level up. That's what I gotta say. You know what I mean? And that's what this podcast is about. This podcast is about speaking from the heart, being yourself, and just talking about life, talking about yourself, your life, trauma, drama, ups and downs, and whatever. And that's what we do. It's like about learning, growing, sharing the life experiences, sharing the life wisdom, and all that. And that's what I have been doing 7 years in the past 7 years living in California because your boy LJD is actually born and raised from Kauai, Hawaii, the Garden Isle. Yes, you got that right. I am originally born and raised from Kauai, Hawaii, and let's just say that my path in life took a different journey because this is what I talked about when I was younger. And then when I got into high school, graduated, and all that, I didn't know where life was heading. I didn't. I was back home and I was drinking, partying, doing what you do when you're in your 20s, and I was just not focused and not knowing where my path, what I should be focused on. And but one thing I know for sure is that now that I know the term manifestation is really real. And it don't matter if you believe me or not when I say it because I know it's true and I did it before I even knew what that term meant. And even before that term what it was, that was not even in my vocabulary. So let's just talk about that because when I said when I was back home doing what we're doing, 20, 21, whatever, 21, going to the bars, going out dancing, going to the beach because I'm from an island. But every time I got home, I would go home and shower, and that's where I remember I always just talked to myself and prayed to the universe. And I asked the universe, please bring someone, I need people, I need anyone to help me come out of the closet and to help me find my purpose and path in life. Seriously, and that's what I did. I did it for 6 months and maybe even longer, at least maybe even a year. I don't know, but it was 6 months to a year, and I every time I remember just going home and praying and asking the universe to just help me because I knew I was gay. I mean, born this gay, born this. But yeah, I was just like that, and then all of a sudden I met two people. I met some friends. I met two people, friends, and we our friendship was on Kauai for a year, and then an opportunity with them presented itself, and that's where my journey from me praying and manifesting to meet someone, not only meeting two incredible people, but also them taking their journey and me joining their journey here to the mainland to California. It's like, oh my gosh. So when you have opportunities and it's a really good opportunity and you're thinking, should I do, that's the risk that you need to take because that's ever since I moved, I never regretted it because I have been learning, I have been growing, I have been discovering so much about myself, and it's so beautiful and fabulous. And that's where like people really take that me being myself, being positive, being happy, sending off this vibrant energy. It's actually a mindset. It comes with a lot that I've been through. And that's where it comes in, characteristics for who we are. You know what I mean? And you can't hide it. You can't hide who you are because it's who we are. And that's where I also been living out here for the past 7 years, making friends, coworkers, and just meeting random people, talking, coming across people, and just interacting, and it's amazing. And I never regret it, and I love it. And to get into it, I was in a polyamorous relationship. Polyamorous relationship. I didn't know what that word is. Polyamorous relationship. It's like, whoa. But yeah, I was in a three-person relationship. Three-person relationship. And that's for later, and that's for more episodes, and that's for later to talk about that. But right now, I'm just trying to introduce myself, and trying to say where I'm at. And it's like trying to sum it up into this one episode right here to be like, introduction, LJD, welcome to the podcast, where you can feel the energy, and you can talk and be yourself and feel free to be yourself, and we don't judge over here. And it's not, I'm not just saying all this and being all happy and being like, oh, welcome everyone, just because I'm part of the LGBTQIA community plus, you know what I mean, the LGBTQ plus community. I'm not just being like this because I'm part of that community. I'm being like this because that's what it is to be a pure human being. Being yourself and spreading pure positive vibes. But where I'm from, I'm going to say pure positive aloha vibes. And that's where people really get things twisted. You know what I mean? You can't get it twisted. Like, I'm already having relationships fall out because people see me on social media, of course, being myself always, and spreading a message of pure positive vibes, and just reminding everyone to be yourself and take it one day at a time, and just spread kindness and just learn and grow with the flow. But then once I see something that I don't really agree on, or if it's disrespectful and it's just like hate, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. It's being a human. We're on social media. It's free speech. So that's where it's like, people want to say throw fire with fire or whatever they want to do, and when they get a taste of their own medicine, they don't like that. And I'm gonna be that person where I'm gonna be an icon for the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm gonna be that person where I'm gonna be an icon. I'm gonna be someone, because I can just feel it in my bones and my soul, and I love it. I love expressing myself, spreading aloha, and making other people feel good, and that's where it all just comes down to where how life has been for me. And I haven't been back home ever since I left in 2017, and it's been this month, July of 2024, makes 7 years. 7 years. And I never visited back home once. But that's where I just take this journey of understanding in my heart that when I go back home, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And when I do, it's going to be amazing, because it took me a few years talking to my therapist and people and expressing it came for me to realize, when I go back home, it is going to be amazing. And I'm going to go back home to see the people who love me for me and want to see me and have a good time. And I'm going to go back home, see the island, enjoy the food, enjoy the beach, the waterfalls, and enjoy the memories and where I grew up. And you know what I mean? No one's going to stop that. And humbly, you know what I mean? I say that humbly, and no one, I have a few, barely any people that really know me for who I am, because I barely know myself. You know what I mean? And I didn't have my mom and dad in my life, so it's like that's another thing to talk about. Not having my mom and dad in my life, being raised by my grandparents, more likely being raised by my grandma, but barely, more like being raised by myself, and just going along the way of just taking whatever lessons I could from people in life. And that's where it's like now, where I say tapping into my mind, body, and soul. Oh my god, grow with the flow. It's amazing. And that's where this is. I'm gonna just, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And people don't, and that's where I'm coming from too, is talking about being myself. And in life, it's about just being happy and discovering that. And along your journey, we all have different paths and different journeys. And relationships are going to fall off. You're going to lose people. But like they say, when one door closes, the next door opens. And man, there's another thing I could talk about like that too. Working out here, I had a job for 5 years, and I wasn't getting gonna get paid more money. I was being used, and next thing you know, I'll admit it, I got let go, and it wasn't for anything bad. It was just because they really played me. Said something about my clock in time wasn't right, and I clocked in early one time, and it didn't make sense. But they let me go, and I thought the world was over. That was a feeling that no one should experience. But that's where it comes down to building your character stronger, building yourself, and that's where it builds you up stronger. And losing my job, I got a new job, and my next job, more money, set schedule, hours, fine benefits. I mean, and that's where life, it's gonna be like that, and you gotta really just really hang on and go with the ride, because that it's life can be beautiful, but you gotta make it seen that way, see that way, because like I said, I came from Hawaii, and people will say, "Oh, you left Hawaii? Oh my gosh, how'd you leave Hawaii? It's paradise." And then I just say, yeah, I know, I get it. You gotta see it as paradise. But for me, growing up, it wasn't that nice. Not having my mom and dad, and seeing everybody around me. Majority everybody has their parents, or at least a mom or a dad. So, but I didn't have either. But that's where it's just I gotta say and spread the message of wherever you're born in the world, through your own eyes, that's your paradise. That's your life. That's what you gotta do. That's how you gotta survive. And we're all put on this earth in different places for a certain reason. We all have a purpose. We all have special things in us, things we do, but you gotta believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, and then that's when you discover everything after that. And I know a lot of stuff I say is gonna sound corny, but it's just me talking from experience, and that's all I do is talk from experience and talk from facts. And that's where I know that this path I'm on is amazing, and it's gonna get better and better, and just keep going and growing and growing and growing. And yeah, and the experiences I could talk about, which I will talk about out here in the mainland, as we call it, where I'm from, the mainland, California. It's a beautiful state, and I came to Palm Springs, California. Palm Springs, California. Let me boom. So moving to Palm Springs, California. First of all, it's the desert, like the desert. Like, I mean, the summers out here, it gets over 100 degrees. We hit 120 degrees. And that's not even normal, but it is normal out here. But me coming to Palm Springs, the desert, I'm a tropical island boy. I came from the beach. I came from water, and now I'm here in the total opposite, in the desert. But see, that's where also my message came through and comes make sense. Wherever you're born, it's a different beauty, and this is a different beauty right here. Experiencing the total opposite of where I'm from is honestly like amazing. It's amazing. The different I see roadrunners out here. Roadrunners, like that's stuff we see on TV where I'm from. It's like I'm seeing roadrunners in real life running around doing this thing. And it's like different. It's beautiful, and that's where life, you have to see it beautiful. Life is beautiful, and me coming to Palm Springs, it's like I didn't know how much of also the LGBTQ plus community out here, and oh my god, there's so much funny stories. Before I left the island, and I told my grandma, oh my god, I told her my grandma where I was moving to, Palm Springs, California, and then she told her nail person. Her nail person is also gay, and then he says, Palm Springs, interesting. I didn't know that, obviously how big the LGBTQ plus community is out here. And then I move here, and then it makes sense because when you go to downtown Palm Springs, where over here, there's a whole strip of gay bars. And it's like that, the universe is just like putting everything falling into place, And like I said, I was praying and I prayed, and the opportunity met Leroy, met Frank, moved from my home, Kauai, came out here to California. Boom, Palm Springs is our city. Palm Springs has a huge LGBTQ plus community. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But one thing I will say respectfully is that living out here and making new friends, new relationships, is that Palm Springs is a beautiful town and city, and it's not just known for the LGBTQ plus community. It's not just known for that. It's known for other things because it has the authentic Mexican food, the different. You can walk downtown Palm Springs, has different shops and all different crafts and cultures, Indian, and I mean, there's so much different things you can see, and it's not just known for that. And that's one thing I respect because obviously, when you go places, you want to get to know where you're at, and the locals. There's locals out here, There's local people, and that's where it's like where I'm from. People. It's all about respect, and that's where it's anywhere in the world. It's about kindness, respect, and being yourself. And yeah, but coming out here to Palm Springs and it's the Coachella Valley. The Coachella Valley. It's like, bruh, talking with people too. It's like telling them I live on an island, but the way they explain living out here, it's similar because you're in a place where you're in a valley, and but the only advantage they have is that they're blessed. They can drive to different places. Obviously, when you're on an island, you're stuck. So when you're on an island, it's like you gotta pay more money to fly away. But if not, you're just on an island dealing with different people. And let me tell you, living on an island can drive people crazy because they don't have a purpose in life and now they just want to spread hate and negativity. No joke. But that's where, you gotta try to help just spread aloha, spread the love, spread kindness. But yeah, so 7 years living in the mainland. Wow. Let me tell you, it's been amazing. Because also, let's also talk about being 4 years sober. Dun, dun, dun. Blessed. 4 years sober from drinking alcohol. And I'm not saying alcohol is bad. And if you drink alcohol, you need to be 21 and over. Let's just be responsible and smart people. And let's just say drinking was not meant for me because yes, I learned my lessons. I learned from my mistakes, and that's what we got to do is learn from your mistakes, learn from your lessons into blessings. That's another thing I'm going to say. LJD, turning lessons into blessings. And for me, learning that drinking wasn't for me because I was coping my emotions. See, and also I talked to a therapist. So this is why when I'm talking and things are sounding a little bit more advanced, it's because I've been talking to a therapist for 3 years now, and he's been helping me see through the BS and helping me discover myself and help me get rid of the things I don't need in my life and things I don't need to do. So, like I said, drinking. I was drinking for fun. I was drinking to have fun. And then drinking turned into me not noticing that I was drinking to hide things that I would think about, and then it would make me feel sad or hurt or whatever it may have been, and then I would drink. And then once you drink enough, you get numb, and you get numb to the pain, and that's where you just have fun and laugh, and then forget about what reality is supposed to feel like. And that's where it just comes down to me being 4 years sober and seeing my sober lens on, per se. It's been beautiful. I mean, the journey of being sober for 4 years. My thinking, my body. I mean, when I first quit drinking, 3 months, 4 months maybe, I lost 30 pounds just like that. And that just to show alcohol puts a real weight and takes a toll on your body. I mean, quitting in a few months without doing nothing, and my body just goes, whoa, and just flushes it out. It's like, what? But no, that's real talk. And let's just say too, I ended up in the hospital. Everybody, it's your worst nightmare. They call this the exit ticket. You finish this. If I finish that, I'm good to go. I'm trying. Help. Because I was drinking and barely eating because I was just so depressed. Admitting that I was depressed as heck at that time in my life. And I was just drinking, barely eating. I was with my partner, and still with my partner who sticks by my side, which I'm thankful, grateful, blessed for because he supports me. I support him. We love each other. Hi, Sammy. This is my Sammy boy, who also is my emotional support animal right here because I swear he is so just connected to me. He's so connected to me, and whenever I get upset or angry or frustrated, he comes to me and just calms me down. And he's such an amazing boy, and he's 14, 15 years old. He's originally also from Kauai. He came from the islands too, but now he's out here living with us in the desert. So now you're a desert dog, and we have our other dog Sasha, and then we had our other dog Emma. Rest in peace. She was 18, but before Sam came in here, I was talking about not drinking and all that. So there are a lot of things that people do that they think are good for them, but it's actually not because they're doing just to avoid something. And you know, we all have to support the ones we love and care about. But if you're gonna love someone and care for them and be there for them, it has to be in a way where like you can't make them feel belittled, make them feel like you're judging them. You have to support them in a way where it's gonna make them feel encouraged and make them feel loved and make them feel like, oh yeah, I see where you're coming from. And I see that he's gonna knock the pillow down. It's all good. Just knock it down, Sammy. Yeah, knock it down. And that's where. Alright, I gotta pee real bad though. So I'm pause real quick. Sorry for the intermission break. The intermission break right there. Gonna have to use the bathroom real quick. Sammy boy. Sammy boy thought he was gonna join us, but then he decided to go back out because, he's chilling. Gotta drink water. You already know. Drink that water, stay hydrated. Drinking is not meant for a lot of people. And when it comes to admitting that you don't need something in your life, that's where it starts. And then, you move on. And that's where you can get rid of the things you don't need in life. But what also I was talking about though is supporting people. Yes, supporting people. That's what I was talking about. Supporting each other when it comes to, having bad habits. And let's just say when you have a friend or a family member and they have a drug problem or a drinking problem or whatever problem they have, if you go to support them, just go to them in a way where they're gonna feel comfort and loved and all that. Not feel judged, not feel belittled. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking from experience because I had my dad who had a drug problem and my mom who had a drinking problem. So yeah, take it from someone who is just seeing and speaking from experience and facts. And that's what it comes down to. Me being 4 years sober, not drinking for 4 years, and this coming year, August 20th, 2024, is gonna make 4 years not drinking. And the journey itself, living in life and out here and discovering myself has elevated, because when you discover, let go, you grow, let go, grow, let go, grow, and it takes one day at a time. And yeah, life definitely isn't easy, but that's why we all just gotta keep spreading kindness and spreading aloha and spreading the love. And just right now, definitely right now, man, the world is really, really, the world has negativity and some heavy, heavy energy where it's just like negative, hate, intense frustration, and that's where it's like my podcast will not talk about two things. It might come across, might be talked about a little bit, but will not be subjects or topics. Religion and politics, two things. It'll be like touching fire. We won't talk about that. You can express yourself, say what you want, but no, it's not a topic we talk about over here. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. And if you can respect that, cool. If you can't, go to someone else's podcast because we don't talk about those two things over here. It's a no no. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, celebrating life, celebrating yourself. That's a big thing in life. Celebrating yourself. Celebrating life. And I have that big accomplishment, not drinking for 4 years, taking a risk and opportunity to leave the home that I was born and raised on my whole life. I've been out here for 7 years now. And I mean, just it's so amazing to just discover of how much we're capable of. And when it comes down to having self confidence, and I mean, when I was a kid, I used to just tell myself, one, why I'm so ugly. Why I'm so ugly. I used to say why I'm so ugly. I know. Humbly. Humbly. And I used to look in the mirror and tell myself, why am I so stupid? But I felt stupid because I didn't really have anybody there to help me with my homework. And asking for help wasn't my biggest thing to do. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to ask for help back then as a kid. And yeah. But I didn't fail. I wasn't failing school. I did pretty good. But still, I just had some doubts in myself growing up. And then I had people around me growing up that just would talk down on me and tell me stuff that didn't help either, and it would just add on to my self consciousness. And yeah, that's where I mean, being out here in the mainland, being out here in California, I have sprung out of all that, and I have discovered myself confident, intelligent, caring, loving, genuine, speak from the heart man, born this gay. And that's where I'm just proud to be myself, proud to be who I am, proud to be gay, because it's just amazing. And the more you do it, the more you just don't give a flying about what anybody got to say or think about you or what you do. You know what I mean? It's about respect. I respect myself. If you don't respect me, I won't respect you. But you respect me, I respect you. It's you know what I mean? And that's where, when it comes down to my podcast, things aren't gonna be complicated on here. You know what I mean? I want to talk about main ideas, big subjects. You know what I mean? And then when things get too like bicker backering into like little topics, that's where you have to just, you're gonna lose me, because I'm just too leveled up and too, I'm just trying to be this person and how much, so much stuff, but you gotta start one day at a time and not get lost in the sauce. You gotta stay on track. But what I'm saying is that, like my podcast, open heart, open mind podcast, all the time. Like, it's pretty simple. Open heart, open mind. We're all humans. No one's perfect. So it's not that hard. It's pretty simple. So when it comes down to another human judging another human, it don't make sense, because you're not perfect. So you think it's okay to judge someone else, or make someone feel sad, or make someone feel mad or frustrated or belittled. It's like, that's not cool. And then you have people who think it's cool to do that. It's like, that's terrible, because they're just pushing off their own insecurities. And I mean, where I come from, it's a tiny island, and that's where a lot of that stuff happens back there. A lot of that stuff happens back where I'm from. A lot of people are good at pushing off insecurities, pushing off things that think it's cool and make them feel good, but the other person, do they feel good? No, they don't. So that's why it's like, come on. That's where I'm gonna be here to help and be one of the other people, one of the people that, there are a lot of people that are growing and glowing and growing and glowing, and discovering so much about themselves, where they don't have time to worry about other people. And that's the bigger picture about things, seeing the bigger picture, the main ideas, the big ideas. So when it comes to being a human, and you really have the time to judge another human, you have not found your purpose in life. You have not found this journey in life to where you don't have time to think about another person. And for me, like right now, I have some music I've been making. I have this podcast I'm gonna be starting, and then I have my relationship, and then I'm gonna have other things going on, because I just have this drive, this focus, and now, I mean, confident in all the things I'm doing. And then I played sports in high school. I did that. That was a passion, but now this is my passion now. It's like, life is amazing, and I just love spreading the message of just like pure positive aloha vibes, and discovering our best versions of ourselves. And you see my signs, you see my message, you can feel the energy, I'm sure, of the room. You know what I mean? Born and raised from Kauai. I'm mixed plate ethnicity. I don't have just one, two ethnicities. I have 10 ethnicities in me. So I call that a mixed plate special. We call it back home mixed plate special. I have 10 ethnicities in me. I went to Ancestry DNA, took the Ancestry DNA, you spit in a tube, got back the results. I was like, wow, okay. So I got a lot of pieces of the world in me. So that's where, when I talk about life too, and talk about places, and talk about people and race, I'm just speaking from a pure positive place. And that's where I've always came from. And that's one thing I'm discovering too, is that, coming out the closet, and just realizing that people back home, the ones that love me for who I am, they just made me realize they love me for who I am, because the things I've always done, which is just be myself and spread love and make them laugh, and we all had a good time. So that's just what life's about. And nowadays too, my circle ain't that big, but I have a lot of friends. But the ones I can say I can trust is small, and that's, it's just discovering, and loyalty, trust, respect, life. It's like, damn, it's a lot of stuff in life. But you know what? Life is one roller coaster, ups and downs, ups and rounds. But yeah, just trying to do the introduction to my podcast and just let everybody know that there's going to be a lot more episodes coming, a lot more that I'm going to express about myself, my journey, and then future guests where I'm going to have people I'm going to interview. I'm going to start promoting my first song that I'm going to release soon. I have a new song coming out as well. And I'm gonna have a lot more music coming out. It's just when it comes down to the music part, it comes down to getting your beats. I'm trying to make beats, and then the music industry and music part is another, like, obviously a thing because there's podcasts and music. So I mean, it's just beautiful. It's really beautiful because we all have our own things that we want to do in life, and whether it is going to school, not going to school. And when I mean that is college, like, because I went to high school, I graduated, I got my GED, I mean, my diploma, my bad. I got my high school diploma. But when I went to college for a year and a half, and I dropped out. But that being said, I dropped out because I was working, and then I started going out, having fun with friends, and then I think I had 2 or 3 jobs at one point. See, that's one thing too. It's like talking about back home. It's like, oh my gosh, like when I was back home, and I was just living the regular 9 to 5 lifestyle. It's like I didn't have anybody to really express myself to and like talk to and be like, you know, oh man, like why am I just drinking all the time? Why am I just going out all the time? What am I gonna do like in 5 years? Where do I see myself? I wasn't thinking like this at all, but it's just like realizing now it's like life was just going nowhere for me. Life was going nowhere for me. And that's where, I prayed and I manifested, and then I found this journey that I took, and I took the risk. And now I'm just making some people pissed, but it's all good because that's the part of the journey. That's what comes with it. Because, leveling up. I mean, having a phone call with my dad's sister, my auntie. Oh, 3 hours we talked on the phone, and it was just amazing. And I mean, wow. How do I even like put all of what I'm trying to say into this one episode, right? But I'm just trying to just first just calm down, Lance, because you just gotta talk about introduction, about your podcast and your name and where you kind of been at, And I think I kind of touched that, you know what I mean? I kind of said Lance Just Dance, LJD. I got that from friends back home, from just having a good time being myself and dancing, obviously. But yeah, this is where it's just this is the gonna be the first episode of just being like, yep, this is my podcast. You already know, LJD, open heart, open mind podcast all the time. Your host, LJD, Lance Just Dance. And the journey of the podcast will begin. Life is beautiful. And that's where I encourage everybody. I encourage every human being on this earth to just spread kindness, spread pure, positive aloha vibes, and just be yourself. That is the best health. Best health in life is to just be yourself. And you know what? That's life. Life is definitely a test. All we can do is just be our best. You know what I'm saying? Life is a test. Be your best. Best health, be yourself. Spread pure aloha vibes. Spread kindness. Spread love. Because you know what? Love always rises above. And in the end, love always wins. But yeah, let's just say every day, pray, slay, be yourself all day. LJD, aloha. LJD, your boy, your host. LJD, Lance's Dance. Hit your stance. Give life a chance. Let's do it. Open heart, open mind, podcast all the time. Like, comment, subscribe. That's what you gotta do. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Open Heart, Open Mind Podcast. LJD. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Have a good night. And remember, just remember, be proud of who you are. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of who you are because you know what? We're all born special. We're all different. We're all unique in our own way. You know what I'm saying? And I came a long way. I came a long way. And this is where it's not going to stop. Only to the top. All right. Aloha. OJD. Lance's Dance.